Hey there, this is Cat Stancik with the Revenue Accelerator Podcast, and today I have Donna Ashton. So Donna is an online course expert with over 12 years of experience creating and selling courses, working with entrepreneurs and CEOs who want to create more leverage and simplify their business. Now, using her own process, work less, make more, her formula has helped her not only build her own successful business, but she's also taught hundreds of other CEOs and business owners how to do the same for themselves by creating and selling profitable programs that allow for more time with their family, travel, and that impact that you're going to be having in the world. Donna, thank you so much for being on today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Kat.
So, this whole leverage thing, right? So I've been kind of hitting it hard on lazy leverage, where people are basically selling people into programs and courses, and that's just about as far as they deliver. So I know you're not about that.
No.
So, what is leverage for you when it comes to someone who's already made the six figures, they're multiplying it, they even want to get to 7? That's where leverage really starts hitting. So what's working in that space?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that about the lazy leverage. I think that's, it's so few years ago, right? So
Build it, they will come, or send an email and it'll monetize like crazy.
No, and I feel like that's stopped working. And even before 2020, I moved into a different model that was helping people, because people want to get results and need help with the implementation, and not just like, here, watch my videos and your whole entire world is going to change. So yeah, the way I look at it is like, people come to me when they are like, oh my gosh, it's almost like things are going too well, right? You have lots of clients, you're full in your business, or you're on the way to that. And you're doing all of the things. I think, you've kind of hustled your way to 6 figures and you want to scale. Like, okay, great. Now I want to hit 200, 500, like you want to go, but you look at your calendar and you're like, how can I possibly take on more? Like, I can't double my workload, even though I want to double my revenue. And, you can farm out to like hire a big team or hire salespeople, but then you're like managing that. So the way that I, like to do it is a simple leveraged plan where you can take what's already working. You've already got this formula or this process that you're working with one-to-one clients, or if you're doing projects in like an agency model or something. And we want to take what's working and put that into a more leveraged program, a more leveraged model. We want to really take a look at your whole business and see what makes sense for you to keep and to let go of. Because sometimes I had a woman yesterday who I was coaching, and she had like 6 offers, and she wanted to write a book, and she wanted to go into the next level. And I'm like, we have to take a look at this, because it's fine. It's what got you here. And I honor that, and good for you. But
it's not going to get,
if we want to, what got you here is not going to get you to $1 million or to $500,000. Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and there was a time and space where I'm not about the bro style. I know you're not either. In terms of the bro marketers were out there saying all you need to do is build a course, send a couple emails, and you'll have your $1 million business in 2 weeks, right? It's the homeless to multi-millionaire in 2 weeks time frame kind of thing. Yeah. So we know the statistics that courses on average have a 3% completion rate, but I know you have a different approach when it comes to leveraging the course model, as well as helping more people complete the course as part of your support with your clients. So tell me a little bit about, how you help your people actually help their people get results.
Help me help you.
Help them.
Okay. Yes. Because this is what worked for me. And what I started seeing was just what you're saying, the self-study DIY courses. Right. No one was getting results. Nobody was finishing them, or they were calling me. Like, I had my own $500 course that I was selling, and then people were calling me going, but can you just work with me? Like, I just can't do this. So I'm thinking, okay, something's not right here. So the way that I turned it around, and the way that I've done it for my clients, is that yes, you can still have a leveraged like modules. You can, and I highly recommend it, because if you're just saying the same thing over and over and over again all the time, it's like, why don't you just get that into something that's recorded at the highest level of your you know, when you're like not exhausted and trying to tell your 5 o'clock, you know, that the same thing, like get it when you're fresh and you're at your highest, like create something amazing that people can learn from, but you still need some type of support. So I was calling it like premium courses. It's courses with support, like but it's basically sort of a hybrid program of a coaching and a like a course, because you need to add some type of support. And it just like, there's so many options out there now. I was doing like a weekly coaching call, but you could do it every other week, once a month, office hours, Voxer, whatever. Like there are so many, Marco Polo, there's so many options out there to have people, because some people are like, I don't want to talk to my clients anymore. But most people are realizing they love their clients and they do want to talk to them. They just don't want to have 25 calls a week. They'd rather have one and have them all come to one call, and they can still help them. And by having the training done in a video, they are learning all of the general information. And then all they need to bring to you is the specific questions. You don't have to like talk for hours and hours and teach the whole thing.
Right. Well, I mean,
let that do it for you, and then just answer their specifics, right?
There's that frustration of having to say the same thing over and over again. So, you know, I've done it as a parent. I continue to do it. Get your elbows off the table, get your elbows off the table, get your elbows. And at some point you just are like, if I have to say, get your elbows off the table one more time, I just might lose it. And I think that's sometimes where a lot of people get that stuck. They hit that plateau because they can't take on more clients, because energetically it's draining, it's frustrating, and they don't actually get to do their brilliance, which is really in that support role versus in that teacher role. So yes, it's important to have certain concept conveyed. And I think it's a brilliant process to be able to, you know, not only answer the questions that they have, but almost in a way anticipate the questions that they will ask, because you've taken so many people through the process. And then it's like, oh my God, how did you know that was going to be the next thing? It's almost like, you know what you're talking about.
Right.
So what's your process to help people really like knock it out of the park and not just deliver a result, but really over deliver without taking away from yourself? Because I think that's where the coaching and support structure is going, which is not just delivering on expectations, but over delivering, but not at the cost of me and my energy and my time. So
exactly. Well, that's the thing.
Make your magic happen.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, there's a kind of a balance between, you know, bringing it, automating everything, and, you know, and that's great. And also still having an intimacy and getting to know people and helping them, because I think that's where this is all going. Like I said, I've been, like you were saying, I've done this for 12 years. And, you know, I've seen everything at this point, just about from, and it used to work that way where you just do your videos and people would buy them and everything was great. But things have definitely changed. And of course, over the last few years, things have changed again, where that sort of, hey, just go do it, and, you know, good luck to you is over. But at the same time, also, I think that like, hey, I'm just going to be available 24/7 to my clients is also over, because I think people are realizing the value of time and the value of connection with their family and what they love to do. And that, hey, they started this business because they wanted to work when they wanted to and be their own boss and have freedom and flexibility. But most of the time, that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
They're kind of caged in. So bringing that balance where you, like I was saying, I mean, you can do 1 call a week or 2 calls a week instead of 10 calls a week. Like you can really take what's working. And the way that I teach people to over deliver is really getting to the heart of building a course that really like helps them, like, and putting it together in a great way that solves their biggest, what I call the migraine problem, like really anticipating, like you were saying, all of that. And not just like, here are the steps, but where are the pitfalls that they're going to have in their business when people, you know, that people are not going to be able to do this just by, you know, like lose 30 pounds in 6 weeks. Like that's probably not going to happen. So what can you build into your program to help them, and have accountability calls or send them little, you know, reminders, hey, you know, just giving you a hug, a virtual hug or something, you know, how can you set them up for success? You know, not just like, I'm delivering my great stuff, because it's not even about that. It's about the implementation these days. People need help with the
Yes.
implementation. So how can you like, I teach people to create great like support materials in not just a whole bunch of, not just a 300-page PDF workbook. That's not going to help anybody.
Yeah, I can so appreciate that because, that's part of this 3% thing, which is people, left of your own devices, most people aren't going to be able to continue. They get really excited. They might do a couple of modules. Maybe you're
Right.
even a superstar and you'll do a few more, but getting all the way to the end, just consuming the content is one thing, but, osmosis just doesn't work as well online in terms of being able to read something and implementing it are two very different things.
Yeah.
So really providing that structure and that touch base is really smart. And one of the things I really, appreciate about your approach as well is it's not this one size fits all. Yes, you have a framework in terms of leveraging a hybrid course program approach, but I really, it's a breath of fresh air to know that you're not forcing people into a single model, right? Which is, this is the only way to do it. And you're meeting them where they're at. Do you want to meet twice a week? And I know that, from knowing you personally, those questions stem from what's actually going to get a result for your client. Do they actually need to meet with you every single week? Or is that energetically within you in terms of a place of lack because you feel you need to over deliver? And I know that you actually work on the energetic side of things. So how do you bring in the woo into your business? I mean, you didn't, I know I didn't tell you I was going to go there, but
no,
I
it's
think
fine.
it's an important piece of what you do and how you show up and who you support.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to bring the woo in a little bit more, but I feel like this is, and I just was talking with somebody yesterday about this. I think this is where like I get people on the phone or, in the Zoom or whatever, because it is my gift to like be able to have, like to kind of look, it's really hard for me to go break down the process of what I do when someone's like, I'm not sure exactly what content I should put in or how it should be organized. And I'm like, okay, just keep talking, and so while they're just telling me, my brain is like, I have this weird, like compartmentalized brain of very step by step. Yep. So as they're talking, I'm like immediately seeing like step one, step two, like it just flows out. So I think a lot of intuition and a lot of help comes in those weekly calls because I don't know everything about them and I can only generalize and put what I think into those videos. But like you said, like they need specifics or what's going to actually work for their situation, or they can't have a call every week. How can we make it fit them and fit their clients, right? Because it's like there needs to be that energetic match of both, right? So like I was talking to a woman and she's like, oh, I have 5 calls a week. Every day we have calls. And I'm like, really? Do your people need to, do people need to come like you were saying? And she's like, well, no, most people don't come every day. There's just one person. So it's like, how can we take things and make it fit you and make it fit that? And, I try to bring in just my, I have this sort of gut intuition that just comes in with my projector energy. If you're into human design at all, if you're not, it's just like a gut thing. And sometimes I just like, no. So I just bring that and I just tell you. So
that's just no. It's just a no. Just trust me.
I just know it.
So what do you think keeps people stuck in this, like, hustling has been glorified. Yeah. You're not anybody if you haven't hustled to where you are. You're not going to be anybody if you don't keep hustling and you keep working and all this other stuff. So what do you think is contributing to this perpetual hustling modality? And what's your antidote to, kind of undo that programming that a lot of entrepreneurs, kind of have infused into their like neurosystem almost?
Well, I think there's so many things, but I mean, just from people that have worked in corporate who now start their business, they feel like they have to work 8 to 5 or they have to work, they come. And I think it's sort of a masculine thing of working and hustling. And
the bros
yeah, I mean, we have to just work to get our stuff instead of, we don't have to work that hard. So I feel like there's like sort of this, shifting over, a paradigm of that. And also if you feel like if you're just sitting around that you should be doing something, like it's like a guilt of people are like, well, I should be working. I should be doing this. and it's like, you don't have to do that. Like, if you've got things set, like, why not, go read the 4-hour work week or something, it's like, it's hard for people. They feel like they need to be doing all the things. And if they're not, then something's wrong,
right.
Because their friend is like hustling it and working all day and night. And I think since the pandemic, like, I think that and now that more people are online, I think people are seeing that, hey, we don't have to have a 4-hour meeting. We can just talk on Zoom for 20 minutes. I think things have changed a little bit, and some of that is falling away. And what I want to say is that you're missing your life, and you're missing your family and things you love to do. If you don't have kids and a spouse, there's still, wouldn't you rather be taking a walk on the beach than just sitting here like posting on social media? I don't know. I love what I do and I love my clients, but I also love my family and I love to take trips. And my business has always been set up that way. And unbeknownst to me until very recently, it's like, why don't you look behind you and see, like, you've never hustled like that. You've never done that. So, but I've had times where I've had lots of phone calls and different things. And I'm like, ooh, we got to do something about this, because it takes a lot of energy out of us. And then how good are we for our family? And I'm just going to say this quick little story. This was when I was just starting my business years ago, when I was homeschooling. I had a different business where I had a homeschool coaching business, and my kids were in the other room playing, and I had a meeting with a woman, and I was supposed to be done at a certain time. And habitually I would like do that to my kids, like, oh, just a few more minutes, sweeties. And they're out there playing, and they're like 7 years old or something. And so while I'm in there talking, and I was trying to get this woman off the phone or the Zoom or whatever, and suddenly I heard this like scream, and I'm like, oh my God, hold on a second. And I ran out there, and this kind of chokes me up, but they were playing with like marbles or something, and my one daughter threw one at the other one, and she just happened to be like smiling or something, and it hit her tooth and knocked half of her permanent tooth out. And of course I got off the phone and after it, but I still, to this day, I am like the guilty mom that I feel like if I had just stuck to my boundaries, if I hadn't been working so much, my child now has, I feel like for the rest of her life, she has to deal with that. She has like a little cap that has to go on, and she's like, we have to go, it's starting to chip again. And I just feel like the most horrible mom that wasn't watching. So I don't know if you guys have a story like that. Maybe you didn't, your kid's tooth didn't get knocked out, but probably you have something similar to that. And it's like,
well, it's missing those milestone moments. So it's not, that, and,
are
not
we missing are we missing the recitals,
the birthday,
and
the whatever it is, or pushing or pushing the birthday party around what would be more convenient for your business versus prioritizing that.
Yeah.
And so when
missing making pancakes on the weekends because we have to catch up with our business because we didn't finish it during the week.
And things like
what are we? We can always make more money, but we can't get those moments back, whether it's with our parents, our kids, our friends, or just like hobbies that we keep pushing off. I so want to write a book, or I so want to learn a language or garden or whatever, but there's just no time, and it keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah. Well, and part of that is this, what are you working towards? Why is that monetary amount important? Like, is it actually because that's what you quote unquote, and, I always talk about comfort plus. I'm not looking to be comfortable. I'm looking to have more than comfort. But what is that number supporting, and what would you do with it? Because when it's just out there and it's just fluffy, then it's not something that you can actually work towards, because there's not a reverse engineer plan. And I know that's part of what you're doing with your clients is you understand their goals, you start reverse engineering it so that there's a reason behind the effort, and it's strategically focused versus this arbitrary, let's just get stuff done. But for why, right? Why are you trying to do that? You also talk about being conscious as part of the course creation process. So, what does that really have to do? Why can't you have a signature system, kind of some of the steps, you just record videos. Where does consciousness play a part in the course creation process?
Yeah, I feel like again, we're moving towards not just pushing something out there. Like, in my past, I could crank out courses, right and left. but really like looking and feeling and sort of bringing in your own intuition of what is going to help people get results. So it's not just about, well, how many of these can I sell? How many people can I enroll into my program? I mean, obviously we want to make money. So it's that. But if people come in and they don't get results, how far is that going to take you? Like sooner than people are going to start to talk, or it's going to just, no one's going to keep signing up. No one's going to keep going through the program. But if you're like getting people results, that's the best, advertising ever, right? And that's why you're here. It's not just like how many, it's also like your mission. For most people who I work with, it's like, this is what they're here to do. This is their purpose in life and their mission or whatever, at least for right now. So let's put what we need to put into something that is like an amazing, stellar gift to their people that can really get them to the next level, really get them. So it's not just like throwing things together, but it's really thinking about all of those things that we kind of talked about, like how can we support them? How can we really meet them where they are? And how can we solve this problem and, do the work ourselves so they don't have to do the work.
Right.
That's what's needed these days. It's like, you have to do everything you can on your end to set them up for success and really think through everything, or that's just going to be another one of those digital things on their computer that they only got halfway through or whatever.
Right. So I know courses absolutely make sense once you've done the one-on-one and created a process, then probably taken a group through a process, recreated those results for those clients, and then course. It's kind of like the reverse pyramid. A lot of people are like, just create a course. And yes, but typically that other model that I just laid out usually works. So let me give you a scenario. Someone's, multiple six figures. They've had a course, they've had courses, maybe they've retired some, all of them gotten results. They've elevated their ideal client, so as you're moving and working with new people, you're modifying your process. It's always improving.
Right.
When is the right time? What are the right indicators that it's time for either a new course or to revamp a course? Like, where does it make sense as part of a business strategy to have something like you're helping your clients with?
Well, I think, one, yes, they need to be, for me, I've helped people who have had no business do courses, or who just work at Walmart and want to have a course. And then I've also worked with, high level people. And, it's not as easy as it sounds. Let's just make money in our sleep in this passive income. You really, unless you have a huge list or a huge community and a huge amount of time to promote this course and to keep it selling, you
writing
need
the emails, upsells, downsells.
You need an established
business.
Yeah, you need established business with a good, community of people, and a way that you can already, if you're already selling and you're already making things, so that first. And then like, when is it time to do it? Well, I feel like if you are just have a waiting list of people, you're run out of time on your calendar, and you really can't bring more people like without you working on the 8 evenings and weekends. You still want to help people. You still want to make more money. It's time to look at how to leverage that offer and start looking at how can you don't necessarily have to, make less money by doing courses or programs. It's really, we want this. I look at it as, here's where you are. You're making your one-to-one, and maybe you start down here with your program income, and then what I want is this, maybe you still take some one-to-one exclusive people, you love it, but the majority of the bulk of them maybe are in this group program or this hybrid program. And then as far as updating, I mean, I have to update what I do, maybe once every year and a half. I mean, it depends. Like I just had a, when I see a huge marketing change or things aren't working this way, because I also help people like automate and work the marketing part of it too, if they want that. And that part changes, and just the way people want to get the information changes. So I update it, but that may not be the case for you. Like it sort of depends.
Right.
But when you have a big shift, then there may be some things. The way I teach it though is to have bite-sized pieces inside of it so that you don't have to redo the whole thing. you may just take out something or add something in. So it's not like, oh, I have to redo my whole program. I mean, unless you're just totally scrapping it and starting over, which could be the case. But if you're just making some tweaks, or you just have to update, or like you said, you've brought this great new thing, just do another video or add another piece to your course. And everyone just is like, oh, great. Now I get access to this amazing new version of Cat or whatever. And
Right.
I also get this piece. So you don't have to, just redo the whole thing. It
I
can be
love that.
updated
You can
pretty
also,
easy.
I've done that in my course as well. And so you'll see like there'll be a different banner in the background, or my hairstyle will be different.
Hair's
It'll be
longer, shorter.
one video to the next. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, okay. So in that video, she's clearly pregnant. In that video, all right, looks like she had some solid weight loss. But I say that in jest, but it doesn't have to be this reshooting all the videos,
No.
makeup, fancy production kind of
No, I
thing.
have people do it do it on Zoom.
Right.
You don't need a videographer. You don't need to have music and banners and all of that. I mean, no one really needs that. Save that for marketing if you want, but inside,
Right.
just be you, just be authentic, and just people just want to learn, just be clear.
Brilliant. How can people get in touch with you and learn more? I know you have something that you want to share that's going to take kind of what we talked about today and like bring it to another level.
Yeah, I have what's called my Simplify and Scale template. So if you're at that place where you're like, wow, that's sort of, I'm running around, I'm getting super busy, I'm getting overwhelmed. I know it's time to simplify this down and scale, but I still want to scale up. So I have a template that will walk you through the steps of that. And you can just get that at my website. It's donnaashton.com/template. So you can just get that and get started today looking at how you can rework what's already working. You don't have to throw everything out. Let's just tweak some things and rework it, simplify, and then scale.
Exactly. That will definitely, all of that and your contact information will be in the show notes. So make sure that, you all listening there, check that out. And, again, donnaashton.com/template. And anything else in terms of parting words or things that you want people to, make note of?
Well, I think I've said a lot here already. I think that the biggest thing that is that you don't have to just throw everything away and start over. You can just make some minor tweaks to the way you're doing your business, and also like how to package things up, and also don't worry that your clients won't get as good results. Because I think that's one of the fears. People think, oh, my one-to-one, they want to work with me one-to-one, and that's the only way, or that's the best way. I have a whole video on why group is good or better than one-to-one. And it's amazing, putting them into a group and having that synergy of learning from others and all of that. So it can be done. And I've not had anybody come to me yet who couldn't package up what they do. Even if it's like energetic work and different things, there's always a way that we could package some of it, even if it's your massaging. I know we can't package that yet, but
there's things, there's always
there's
options
other
and
things that can be
opportunities, so.
packaged up in your business to take some of it off you, to
Yes.
give you some breathing room, some space, some time to think, time to be
Well, in that
creative.
instance, the course might be training your other masseuses on the process and the techniques and the way to show up in your space so that you can leverage other people to do the work. So there's always an opportunity to solve a problem. And having something like that is always great to be able to point to as a resource for whoever is either supporting you in your business or who you're supporting in theirs or in their life.
Yeah, for sure.
Fantastic. Donna, thank you so much for being on today. Everybody, make sure you check out the contact information in the show notes, as well as the highlights, and grab that freebie at donnaashton.com/template.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.